welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and I'm proudly wearing a shirt I haven't worn in 3 years. That's right! Today is a celebration. A lot of people want to keep me down. A lot of people want to cancel me, still to this day. But why am I talking about this tonight? Tonight is today, October 6th. I have it literally listed as D-Day in my calendars. Today is the day I got canceled 3 years ago. And there's been so much that's happened since then. There's so much I want to talk about tonight. It's just a lot of stuff I want to get off my chest. In order to do that, though, I brought in two very close friends to be with me tonight. First up, Jody Joe. What's up, Jody?
Yo, what's up? YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Jody Joe. I'm glad to be here. It's going to be hot tonight, guys. It's going to be probably like no other stream that we've ever experienced together here on Popcorn Planet, me with Andy and now Stefania. That's going to, this is going to be great. And I'm just glad to be a part of it. The real is coming.
The reel's coming, and Jody's been very inspirational in getting me to the reel. So more on that as we go throughout the evening. But yes, I don't want to leave her in the lurch either. Stefania is also here from England. Oh, yeah. It's up late, so she's going to be whispering, guys. Bear with her. But if you haven't seen Stefania's amazing video that she surprised me with a couple days ago to basically stand up for me, Steph, it meant so much to me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for your support over the past year.
Oh, you are very welcome, and I am so happy to be here. To support you and go to war against these idiots. And scorched earth. It's happening. Scorched earth. Guys, you have no idea what you are in for. The truth is coming out. And the people that aren't going to like it, because it's against them.
Well, yes, well said. So we talked about this, and Steph and I were talking, and Chris, thank you for your help too. A lot of close friends, Damien, Don, Stormy. There was a bunch of people I talked to in the past few days to get some insight on what was happening. Lewis, thank you all who were listening to me. Because a lot of people just like, Andy, why are you still talking about this? What is the deal? Like, it's been 3 years. You're seemingly doing well. Get over it. Move on. Guys, I genuinely feel like over the past year, I really have made major strides to move on, but I don't think people really understand how brutal it was. So I wanted to do one last hurrah here on this anniversary, a celebration, if you will. I'm going to answer your questions near the end of the show. I'm going to go as long as you guys want. We'll be late tonight, but I wanted to put this into 5 parts. So I have 5 parts I've planned, I've prepped, I've organized, I have stuff I'm going to show you, I have stuff I'm going to talk about. I'm going to get Jody and Steph's thoughts throughout the evening. I'm going to go through it all tonight. So if you want to ask questions either in between each round or especially near the end when we do our AMA, I'll get to it all. So bear with me, and thank you guys for tuning in. But the reason I'm doing this is I need to get some stuff off my chest. I realize sometimes, right or wrong, I got nothing to hide, and I still feel like I left back and I didn't take proper swings back to defend my name, to stand up for me. I've apologized. I've done a lot of that stuff. I meant it. It's so much time later. There were a lot of people I didn't really fight back, I feel like, harder than maybe I should have. And I gave them time. They had time. The time's up. I'm done. I want it out. I want it out of me. Tonight isn't about them. Tonight is about me. So bear with me as I get some of this off my chest. This is for my own recovery, for my own sanity, for my own, hopefully, need to move on and let this all go. Because if those of you who followed my story know it's been a long story. It's been a long one. So let's get to it. Let's get to part 1 of this section, guys. In order to do that, I did prepare something here I want to read. Because it sort of gets it all out, because I wanted to be very clear for those who are watching this, what's going on? What am we talking? So pardon me if I'm reading a little bit of this, but let me sort of say all this because it's important to me. If you haven't watched my first video explaining what happened, I urge you to do it. I'll link it up here. At some point, it'll be here, there, or it'll be in the description below. But October 6th is a day I'll never forget. 3 years ago, it was a day I was canceled, publicly shamed and wrongfully accused. It was also a day that revealed part of me that I'll never forgive, a selfish cheater, a man who betrayed a family that believed in him, something that will truly be a forever punishment to me, something I speak about in great deal, but that is really the pain I bear for these past several years. But it also exposed a man who began to assume any fan who was interested in talking to him might also be romantically interested. The reality is I never thought I was famous. I never thought I was powerful. And when amazing women who shared my interests first approached me, friendly and then romantically, many of which people don't understand or know that happened, I just didn't know how to handle it. I took it. I took the bait. I went with it. And throughout my whole high school years, everything, I was just the nerdy virgin outcast who had no idea how to talk to women, how to handle sort of attention. And so over those few years, fans pursued me, and in turn, I pursued and flirted with some of them that I liked. As someone many fans looked up to, I understand this abused a trust in the very community I worked so hard to build. I truly never wanted to offend anyone. For me, the only true victim in all of this, from all of my actions, is my family. That's really, really who I betrayed in this. With that said, many years later, I've reached out to women I feel like I owed apologies to for any miscommunication, and to previous fans stumbling on this for the first time. I don't want the first thing to hear me being all this tea and drama I'm about to spill. I truly am sorry if I offended you for that past behavior. I've apologized before. I want to do it one more time here to just put it all out there. I'm sorry if I offended to some of the fans who thought, man, that was creepy what he did. I know I'm not that person anymore. However, a cheat, a flirt, that's not how I was canceled. That's not how I was painted. I was labeled a predator, an abuser. One woman accused me of horrifically false things. I know for over 2 years, I was legally barred from making any public statements as I pursued a wrongful termination and defamation case against my former employee for my family. It was a dark time, and honestly, if it wasn't for that amazing family and my kids specifically, I would have checked out. I don't say that for dramatic effect. I was that far gone, but thankfully they were there, and the folks who did reach out brought me back. They helped me stand back up and fight back to where I am today. So all of you did that. Thank you. Jami, my kids, my family, I love you all. Thank you so much for everything you did. When my previous employer was shut down, Karma, I was legitimately worried at that point that all those months of fighting in silence was going to be for nothing, but it wasn't. We still managed to show the importance of my case. We reached a settlement, and that allowed me to share the evidence that's in that video I urged you to watch in the beginning. And I know that really helped clear my name. Terrible pieces about me. A lot of them were actually corrected. Many weren't, but many were. And so while it's late, you know, my response was late, as Jody has said numerous times. He's right. It still began to help that I got it out finally. And so over the past year, I began to fight back, rebuild with this amazing community here. Jody, Steph, Adon, Damian, Chris, so many amazing people here. I was able to find my real voice, and I'm so proud of the voice I've come into, and I'm so grateful for all you guys who've been watching and supporting it. This channel has now grown to over 120,000 subscribers. For that, I am so eternally grateful. Let's get to 200,000. That's my next goal. So 3 years ago, I shared many truths. Over the years, I've shared many truths and implied things here and there. But tonight, I really want to talk about one thing I've always held back on. The truth about what happened with my old colleagues at Screen Junkies. I stupidly considered these guys my friends. It's clear we weren't. For years now, I've just sort of been making excuses and trying to play nice. I attempted to air this all out privately, but they made it clear they want to move on. But I find it funny that people will state things publicly that destroy your life, that are out there and really destroy your character. But then when new information arises years later that challenges where they were, they suddenly no longer want to engage. Oh, Andy, stop being a bully. Get over it. You're enough. And then they insist, you know, that if you want to get the full story out there, oh, Andy's just a jerk bully. See, we were right about him. No, look, call me whatever you want. The fact is tonight, the gloves are off. I've moved on, but to fully move on, I want to get all this out tonight. I want to answer any loud questions I've been avoiding. Tonight, it's all on the table. Let's get this done. Let's celebrate this 3 years of being canceled. So hopefully after today, I don't need to keep resorting to these videos. Hopefully you guys will start supporting me on non-drama from the amount of people in this room tonight. And we'll do that. So I'm aware tonight I probably will forever burn some bridges. I'm okay with that. Everyone I'm speaking about has put themselves out there as public figures. Everything is in response to public statements they've made about me. In order to let all this out, I'm recording this live as we are, but I want to air these out in specific segments so anybody who wants to know these stories can see them more digestible. So I'll be splitting this one first video up, and then we'll be uploading the next few pieces that you guys maybe caught live later, and you'll be able to catch them all through parts. At the end of this, I'll be devoting a full section to answer your questions. So if you'd like to ask anything, I'll answer anything tonight. Just submit it through the links that the mods are sharing through Streamlabs and all the other methods. You'll be supporting this channel, which we need desperately, but that way we'll also get to all your questions at the end. So now that I got all that through, thank you guys for bearing with me. Let's get to this main event. Let's get through this main story here. Jody, Steph, anything you want to say before I get to this first thing I want to address?
You want to get to that $100, man?
Oh,
Shit.
yeah, I said,
you got
whoa!
$100 in them over there, bro. Dipset.
Dipset, thank you. I had a script up. Dipset.
That shit was bloody.
Can't stay long at work, Andy, my brother. You know what it is. Oh my gosh, thank you for that hundo. Thank you for that support. Dipset Top Notch is always here when it matters. He drops those big donations. It means the world to me. Also, I just saw David March also dropped 100 through the PayPal way. Oh my gosh, we're already at a strong start. Thank you guys, inspiring me to let it out. Keep it coming. We will get all to it. I'm so grateful, David specifically, Dipset. You guys have been so supportive throughout these years. Thank you for helping me return, come back stronger. Let's do this. All right. Keep an eye if you see those big ones for me. Thank you for reminding me. All right. So, guys,
I got you.
where we're going. So, look, this is how it all started that day, October 6th. This headline in specific upsets me to no end. It's written by Aaron Couch. I'm calling him out from Hollywood Reporter. Aaron Couch was like starting up at Hollywood Reporter, and he came to the Screen Junkies office multiple times looking up to us like, Andy, I'm such a big fan. And then the morning it happened, I get it. He's got to report the story. But he wrote this headline, and when that morning it happened, he's like, if you ever have a comment or you want to adjust it, come tell me. Well, years later, when I tried to have him adjust this story, he refused. The Hollywood Reporter did not want to do a follow-up story. They did the settlement, but they refused. I've reached out to him privately, personally, numerous times asking, can you please just remove the abuse out of this? That's not why that's not what this was all about. This is the thing that's pulled off and used against me day after day. It's false. Fix it. And his response was, nope, Hollywood Reporter doesn't change old articles. So it's there forever. I got to embrace it as my scarlet letter. But this one is the bane of my existence. And this is really what tonight's about. This is the thing that will haunt me forever. And it's false. It is false. So let's get to this. That morning, who was the first one to tweet about it? Spencer J. Gilbert. Sickened, saddened, frankly in shock right now. Not going into work. That's for sure. I gotta say,
he went out there quick.
He went out quick, and
wow.
He wasn't as bad as the others. I guess like he was more shocked. But this was 12 noon on that day. I was supposed to be in work by 9. This stuff started breaking around like 6:30 in the morning, LA time. And the first one was from Emma, and the second one was from April, both of which were not true. And they were Emma specifically was out of context. She's since changed her Twitter and shut up because once I talked back and shared evidence, both people managed to turn away.
So he said this off response to the article. So Did he call you?
No, he didn't call me. In fact, Spencer's the one person who has never called me ever. I've texted all of them. Apologies, and if you ever want to reach out, let me know. I'm sorry what I did to you.
Good job.
But Spencer never reached out. So to his credit, at least he stood by his convictions and just never engaged. And this was really the only thing he said. So of all the people who handled it, you know what? I don't have as much of a beef with Spencer. Tonight's not about tea on Spencer because
pick the phone up, bro.
He did this. I always admired Spencer. He's an amazing writer. He's in there doing what he's got to do to pay. I think he has got a kid. I heard. I hope they're great. I hope his family's great. I loved Spencer. I'm sorry, Spencer. Look, I would have been shocked and sickened at the thing. I would have reached out, but he and I weren't that close. He really worked under me, so I wasn't as offended. It is what it was. Next up was Joe Starr. Shocked, sad, and frustrated today. I believe women.
I believe women. What kind of whack, trash, cucky statement is that? I believe women.
That was the thing, Jody. That was the thing.
If I say I believe men, what kind of dumb bullshit, one-sided trash shit is that? She made me want to throw up, bro, man.
Joe has always been that way. Joe was never my favorite of that crew. No one really loved Joe. He was just...
That's like me saying I believe basketball players. What is that?
It's a good point. I don't know. But Joe was like a puppy, Jody, Steph. Like he was just like a puppy that was just trying to get attention the best he could. He got in with the hardcore audience right away. He would engage with them right away. He knew what to do that, but he also was always worried about losing his job because he knew he wasn't the best writer we had, but he had energy, right? He had like passion. He tried. But he was almost let go numerous times, not just even by me, but by team effort. So I'm sure they've all, united since, but no one wanted to stand up for Joe. He was a good guy, and he was good to the peripheral people of Screen Junkies because he needed to be, because that's how he sort of stayed relevant. But yeah, not surprised at all by his statement. And then next was Dan Murrell. I'm numb. I don't know what to do. Questioning everything I thought I knew. To those that came forward, I hear you, and I believe you. Now this one's hurt because I have no doubt he's questioning everything. And Dan was probably, out of all these so far, the person I was closest to. I have spoken to Dan. I'm not going to get in. He asked me not to share. I'm not going to share private conversations that were asked not to be shared after the fact when I engaged. So I'm not. But I will say we spoke. We don't agree with where things are, but he's also said don't engage. So I've stopped engaging. I'm not talking to him. I'm here to address it publicly. Since he addresses publicly, I'm here to respond to his public statements. And we'll get more on him later in chapter 2. So I'm not going to get into too deep on Dan, but I promise you we are going to get deep into Dan during chapter 2 of this thing. But there you go. That was sort of where he came out. Next up was Hal. I got this all by the timeline. Shocked, saddened, and disgusted by the news today. I believe and support the women who've come forward. It takes bravery to speak up. Now, you got to remember, the bravery they spoke of was Emma, who lied and just said, even if you were to believe her, I asked to, in front of her. Not appropriate. That's not what happened, but that's the worst of what that was said. And then April completely lied. And so, look, when you hear both of those things back to back, I could see why you might have questions. I understand why they might have questions. But again, Hal was another person I expected to reach out to me and sort of ask,
this shit is
what's
pissing
going
me
on?
off all over again. None of them called you. Like,
None of them called
Andy,
me.
what's up with this, man? Is this true?
None of them called me ever.
Is any of this happening? Talk to me, man.
Not a single.
Give me something.
Not a single one of them called me. Hal,
bro,
Hal,
what's that tell you?
Hal wrote back to a text I sent him, trying to be a decent person, but I clearly did not want to engage any further.
Crazy. These are not friends.
No,
friends
clearly they weren't.
this.
And I got thoughts on Hal. We'll talk about Hal in a little bit as well. But there you go. And then finally, Roth, since he's going to be in this, we're going to talk about it all in a second. Having trouble expressing the level of devastation I'm experiencing right now. I want so much for women to feel safe and supported. Now, I'll be honest. Out of everybody, Roth's statements, they didn't bug me. I even remember she did something on Facebook, a longer piece. I feel like Roth, who, we were close at work, but we weren't friends. None of these people. Dan, I guess, maybe a little Hal. There's the ones I would consider friends. John Bailey, but he didn't say anything. John Bailey was afraid he was about to get canceled as well. So that's sort of why he stopped engaging and why he didn't want to engage with me any further. We had a mutual friend, and he sort of kept his distance, even though we've talked. He just doesn't want to be seen with me because he's afraid. And look, he's got a family. I don't really have a beef with John. I'm annoyed by John, but it is what it is. But Roth, you know what? Level-headed. If she's hearing these things from women, people are talking to her. I wasn't as upset with Roth, but there we have it. So now that's sort of what happened. The next thing I really want to get into, the thing I've avoided, is this video. What happened? What's next? This was almost a million views. And I want to do a live reaction with you guys. Shall we do this? I want to watch this finally, and I want to share with you. This video has more than doubled the views I have my statement. So,
and there's something I want to say before you hit play.
Yeah, please.
I know that this stuff is going to be. I know this is you're the dog in the cage. This is your thing. This is your life, and it's going to affect you in a certain way. But I want to let you know I got some feeling towards this shit, bro. Just because of the simple fact of the person that I am. Seeing all these faces on a video when you ain't there, when they went straight to Twitter off of an article without calling you, and then pop up in this video to give commentary, bro, without speaking a dime to you. This is sloppy, this is messy, and already this shit look bad. And that's what I said when I first watched this thing 2 years ago. I'm about to get mad again. Let's go.
Hold on,
I can only imagine how you gonna feel.
Yeah, no, it's gonna get upset. Hold on, how do I get you?
We're about to witness cancel culture, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to witness it. We're about to witness. I want you guys to understand. We are about to witness cancel culture from his own friends and colleagues on YouTube for everyone to see. Without a single phone call being made. Keep that in your mind. No call was made to him before this went down to see what his side of the story.
Yep. Cool. Thank you. Well said. I'm glad you said it. And I see we have 1,000 people watching this. That's the record. So let's smash that like button. Thank you guys.
Yes,
there's a lot of lurkers. Dan, Hal, Christian, everybody watching. Why didn't you just reach out? This is so stupid. The culture has shifted. You guys are just pathetic. Yeah, I effed up, but my God, how long do I suffer for you guys? Enough. It's like, Jesus, you have no clue how hard it's been. My God, you assholes.
Enough is enough, guys. This is why we're doing this. We're drawing a line in the sand. It's scorched earth. We're saying enough is enough with the truth now, and that's it. And this is the stream to do it. So, yeah.
So, all right. So here we go. Let's, hold on. How do I cancel? How do I make sure? Remove pin. I don't know why this stupid. There we go. Jody talk for me?
Yeah, man. So once again,
now it's set
keep it in your heads. While you watch this, keep in your heads that the things that they're going to say in this video, I can't believe it. This is sad. We're not about this. Without a single phone call. Friends, mind you. This is not just call. Friends. You know, like, let's go out together. We're buddies. How's your family? Keep that in mind as you watch this video and get wrecked like I will.
How funny. Dan Murrell is live on John Roca's channel right now. The two worst people in the world. I'm not saying to go harass, but man, what clueless idiots. Anyway, let's do this, shall we?
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
There's no real comfortable or good way to start this, so let's just jump right in. If you don't know what's been happening over these last few weeks,
Yeah, we
Andy
can't hear it.
Signore.
And
Do you hear it?
no.
Oh, you mean you don't hear it?
As he's fixing the audio, he's getting that together,
Zoom-
guys.
Zoom
Make
literally-
sure y'all hit that like button.
Zoom literally just did a reset of some stupid thing. And I
There's
don't.
1,000 people. Let's get it past 500 likes. At least let's get half of them likes. That's free. You guys are about to get.
Hold on. Of course, Zoom like changes their settings.
Been all the way 100% a buck on this. I've already spoke a little bit on this, but the problem was in the past when me and Andy were talking about this, Andy wasn't yet ready to put those names out there and say the story and say the information. So off of respect, I held back and was just trying to get in where I fit in. At this point in time, we're about to go there. He's about to put it all out there. So the conversation's gonna get hot. Plus, we got Stefania here who's gonna bring that the woman's perspective to this situation, because you know she's a loyal person herself. So it's gonna be an interesting dynamic. Thank you for those donations that you guys are dropping. Shout out to everybody who's putting these comments in the chat. It's helping the algorithm, bro. Shout out to Sean Byrne. I see you too, bro. Jody's all right. How can your coworkers not text you first about those allegations? Instead, they go straight to social media. That's bullshit. Exactly. That's why it's important that you guys keep that shit in mind when you're watching this video. So now that we're getting it all out there tonight, the conversation's gonna get hot. It's gonna get
It's
real.
gonna get hot. Can you hear it now?
Hey, everybody.
Can you hear it now?
There's no real comfortable or
Yeah,
good way
we
to
got
start
Okay, thank God. All right, there we go. Fix it. Here we go.
this, so
There's no real
let's
comfortable way
just
to do
jump
this.
right in.
Let's jump right
if
in.
you don't know what's been happening over these last few weeks, Andy Signore was fired almost 3 weeks ago after multiple women came forward on social media with allegations of sexual harassment and abuse.
So it's important I pause. One person came out with an accusation of abuse. It's funny to acknowledge, while I'm not going to get into the specifics, when Dan did write me, he acknowledged he doesn't believe April. So to know that privately Dan doesn't believe April, but did this, and also admitted he wouldn't do anything differently. Dude, what is wrong with you, man? You just endorsed April. You just told everybody I'm an abuser. You can be upset that I broke the trust of our fans.
Hey, everybody.
I do actually genuinely understand where that one's coming from, but you just told everybody we grew and built together. You just told everybody that I'm an abuser, Dan. And you still have the gall to not understand why I'm upset? Oh, we'll explain why Dan is complicated. Again,
That's gonna be really.
that's for part 2, guys. So
Yeah.
we'll get there. But I'm holding back on Dan a little bit because we're gonna get there. Okay, just understand,
the filler
Jody.
for part 2 is gonna really make you hate him here now, but we have to do it in succession.
Yes, just so we're clear, more on Dan as we come. But we built this together. Dan
real
was
comfortable or good-
hired, was found by my friend Brett, was brought in, but was, lifted up the ranks because of me. I was the one who helped get him raises. I was the one who kept him on screen. Everyone there wanted to fire him off movie fights. He has no personality, they told me over and over again. I had his back the entire time because I knew he was a movie fan. I knew he was the audience. I knew he would be great, and I knew that he and I had a sort of brotherly, annoying each other sort of tat-a-tat that the audience craved. That's why it worked.
Way to start this, so let's just jump right in. If you don't know what's been happening over these last few weeks, Andy Signore was fired almost 3 weeks ago after multiple women came forward on social media with allegations of sexual harassment and abuse. This was news that was a shock to all of us. Andy was, for I think everyone here, not just our boss, but someone that we counted as a friend.
Do you believe that, Jody? Do you believe that, Steph?
That's bullshit.
No.
Obvious bullshit.
No.
But we get it. You're playing the PC game. You're playing that we're so shocked game right here. It's really about, understand, the heat is on them to make a move. I remember this little 3-week period where they went dark. this was the response of what's going to move forward. Are you going to eliminate this guy and flame him, or are you going to try to make excuses for him? And that's what they're doing here.
Right. Okay.
And we found out overnight that he was not the person that we knew or that we thought he was. And it's taken a lot of time.
So they found out overnight that I wasn't the person they knew or they thought they were. Can you imagine if you are apparently, this person's friend? You find this information out overnight. I'm trying to think of my actual friends. Jody, Steph, Adon, Dave. If I found this information out,
bro,
what's the first thing you would do to your friend?
I don't know. Let me see. Let me. I could do it without even saying anything. Check me out.
I mean, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. You in agreement, Steph? Is that what you would have done?
Yeah. I'd be like, what the hell's going on?
Even a text, bro. Something. Instagram DM, Twitter DM, a raven. Send a raven. Something.
I'd be like,
Nothing.
is this actually true? Like, really? Like, are my ear holes, like, hearing this right? Like, yeah.
Dude, even if it was true, like if the situation was reversed, I would have been like, man, Andy has a kid. Andy has a wife. Dude, what's going on? Are they okay? They didn't even check in with her.
Yeah.
They know your.
They didn't, and they knew her. They had access to her. They didn't even check in with her. I was told actually Hal did later. Hal was the only one who did. Dude, look, I'm not trying to excuse the things I did. That's why I said it in the beginning. I've taken accountability. I have paid my price for my actions. But my God, you want to play like we were friends? Come, give me a break. Give me a break. It's time for honesty. We were clearly not friends. I clearly thought we were closer friends than we were.
Time
And
for
we're not
us
talking
to
about Kit Kat bars.
process that, to ask the questions that need to be asked, and to feel comfortable coming forward and just talking to you guys and being able to say everything that is in our brains and that we want to get across. First and foremost,
Lauren, Amber, Elizabeth, yes. Is this why Andy isn't that popular? Correct. Because all these false claims have been keeping me down. Everyone I lifted up. Everyone I lifted up. From John Roca, who's live right now and will always tarnish my name because he's an SJW crazy person.
SJW
He is a lying crazy. John Roca, I can't tell you the amount of women who complained about how aggressive John Roca was on movie fights. Please don't put me on with John Roca. John Roca is the biggest hypocrite trying to save face because he found an audience that likes him in that woke community. John Roca is a fraud, and he's not that popular. It's a schmodown bubble. Pop that bubble. It is bigger. I'm going beyond that bubble. I don't need that bubble anymore. But yes, Lauren, that's what's happening. I had tons of followers. Half of them don't even know I'm back. That is why I'm frustrated. It's not because I care about. I'm mad because Dan was a friend. I'm mad these people keep keeping me back because they won't even alert. Hey, we were wrong. Some of that was actually not correct. You should check out his. Make up your own decision. Check out his channel. I'm not endorsing. There's so many ways they could have done it as gentlemen, and they refuse. And they've just run that channel. They've run this legacy into the ground. And we'll get there. We'll get there. I told you this was fire tonight, guys. Oh, Andy's not going to deliver. He's going to ask for super chats. No. How about those who said that? Drop a super chat right now just to prove you were wrong and support this because I'm delivering tonight. It's enough of this nonsense.
We're seeing the support come out. You know, the people who are pro Andy and pro Popcorn Planet and pro for the truth, I would say, you know what I'm saying, show that love, the monetary love, because it helps, bro. He out here without the Screen Junkies clout trying to make it work, doing his grind, the entrepreneur grind. I know a little something about that. It ain't easy out here, bro. We got families to feed. Show that love.
I just got text. People, don't mention me, but people are downvoting the hell out of Roca and Dan right now live. Look, I'm not here. I know Jody's going to be safe. F it. I'm not here to send any of you hate to any of these people. I really genuinely don't want that. It's going to happen. Please don't do it on my behalf. I just want the truth. And if they don't want to have the truth out there and they want to decide, I'm done talking about it, you don't get to do that. I'm still grieving myself, and you were instrumental in my takedown. Obviously, actions of my own were too, and I've owned them if you actually were paying attention. But I'm sick of being kicked down by the schmodown, by people because of Dan, Roca, all these people who refuse to acknowledge another side of this story. So that's what tonight is about. We got lots more on deck, so
And
stay
it's about
tuned.
one more thing.
Smash that like button. Go ahead, Jody.
I just thumbs down the shit out of that live stream, bro. And I did it with pride. I feel good. Bro. I don't give a freak.
I can't believe they went live tonight and aren't talking about this. This is crazy with the cluelessness.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Let's keep watching.
I want to say that, you know, I think all of us have been very encouraged
Dante,
and heartened.
thank you.
That's right, Dante.
Really touched by the support.
Shout out to Dante, bro.
Wow, Dante, thank you.
Keep no sus, but it's sus gang.
During the AMM, I'll get through all of this. Keep it coming. I saw that. Thank you, Dante.
Fans have shown us personally, and I think we would all just ask that you return that support tenfold to every woman who's been brave enough to come forward.
Every woman who's been brave enough to come forward. Jody.
This is something.
Every woman who came forward. Now, look, I understand in the heat of it, you know, Steph, and maybe you can add, like in the heat of it, you had some doubts, right? There were women who came forward with some legitimate things. I understand. But not everyone came forward with serious things. Those of you who are paying attention, one fan, I'll say her name, I don't care anymore, Janine DeBean, who was an illustrator, I literally complimented her. I said she was beautiful. That literally was me creepily flirting and destroying her life, apparently. She put herself in the same echelon as April's accusation because I called her beautiful. And then I used it in my video, and I heard she was livid with me. I've been told by people, you need to apologize to her. No, Janine, I'm not apologizing. No. You used me for attention. You were DMing me after you were uncomfortable with me. You were DMing me, hey, can you promote my contest? Can you share my art? Can you please put this out there? Can you retweet this? Can you retweet that? Oh, you're going to deny that, Janine. Oh, I'm supposed to apologize to you because I called you beautiful. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to hook up with you, Janine. I'm sorry if you were offended by me complimenting you. But you have the clout and the audacity to go and continue to tarnish my name in that community because of that? And to put yourself in the conversation? Notice, guys, she's one of many. You'll notice she's now on the Schmodown. She's a personality in the Schmodown. Go support her when she fights. We'll get to that too, though. So stay tuned. Lots to talk about. But anyway, as I told you, gloves are off.
Something that's happening all over Hollywood right now and has been happening everywhere. And the only way that these things stop happening is for people to be brave enough to speak out and come forward. So any support that you've shown us.
Look how much they believe everybody, right? I just see this. John Roca is live right now deleting any comments about me. To this day, that coward won't address this issue. John Roca is a coward. You wear that cowboy hat. You are the fakest cowboy I've ever seen in my life, John Roca. You can tell him that for me. That's ridiculous. What the hell are you doing live tonight? You don't pay attention? BS. You thought you could do this? Dude, Roca, get off our...
He's trying to take advantage of the
clouded. I know. And then he doesn't even know to like actually take advantage and respond or come at me. Moron.
This is great, but we also ask that you
share that with
everyone who's come forward, not just about Andy, but anyone who shares a story about anybody. This is important. Now, we've watched this. We're almost 2 minutes in. Like, this is horrific sounding to me. They are painting me like I'm Harvey Weinstein. Steph, do you get that vibe?
Well, yeah. When this is the video that I initially watched. Well, I'm sorry again, Andy. Thought, wow, he's a monster. He deserves everything that he gets and more. And I'm so sorry about that again, Andy. I will always forever apologise for that. But yeah, because it was so emotive, it was so powerful at the time, especially the Me Too movement that was going on and everything else. It was just a perfect storm. And it all came all against you.
I accept your apology. I know a lot of people were there, and I'm grateful you found it, and that's why I'm here angry. That's why I'm not over it. Andy, get over it. I'm not over it because still to this day, listen to what these people did. Steph is one of hundreds of thousands of people who were just made their vote when they saw my friends endorse it all without any hesitancy. And these people never reached out before making this video. It is baffling to me, the audacity.
Is how I came.
And I will say, but Johnny wants to say, this video did not help my former employer. Let's just say that. Go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, this is around the time that I came into the picture and was introduced shortly after this, not too far after, to Andy. Because of when I saw this, I was just sitting back like, I thought he was your boy. And I was doing live streams and videos about it. And I was like, this is weird. All y'all were down together. Why y'all throwing them to the Sharks like this? These one thing that's for sure, whether if Andy did it or not, because I didn't know Andy back then. He probably could have did everything that they said. But I was like, one thing that's for sure is y'all ain't his friends. Y'all throwing your boy out like that? That's dirty and foul. And I commented on that back then. So this is how I feel then, and it's how I feel now. It's not changing. Fraudulent friends. They're out here throwing them to the Sharks. Let's keep going.
All right, so because I want to keep these digestible.
By the way, 1,100
sections.
views. We're still rising.
I want to keep this digestible, so I want to make sure people see this. So please support, like, share this. I'm just trying to get the word out, guys. That's what it's about. I like what I do. I want to continue to do what I did. I was pretty damn good at it. I still am. I just want to have people to know the truth. I'm so sick of this. Let's keep going.
Change. It's a change that needs to happen, and people coming forward is what makes that happen. Andy is fired. Andy's gone. He will not be coming back. We'd be lying to say that Andy wasn't a big part of Screen Junkies, but Andy is not Screen Junkies.
Whoo, Jody, give me a second. You ready for this one? I've been wanting to reply about this one, and let's be honest, guys. I think the past 2 years has proven who was Screen Junkies.
That's your sheep, bro. That's
you
bro.
guys destroyed that channel. Dan Murrell left that channel to pursue his own channel, which it's not Screen Junkies either. You guys are just completely fully... what they did,
gotta feel good.
What they did to movie fights, and we'll get there because it's there. I'm going to try and get through this because I want to address it. I know it's long, but what they did, and it's coming. Dan makes a comment at the end. What they did to movie fights and neutered it. It's just embarrassment. And then what they've done since, there's not a single good show on that channel. All those personalities are bland. They have no idea how to program, how to title, how to thumbnail, how to bring in guests, how to have a hustle, how to be creative. It is embarrassing what happened without me there. I'm sad. I thought I could have. Only thing that I sort of propped up was Honest Trailers because I gave Spencer the keys and he knew how to do it. And so Spencer's been on autopilot doing Honest Trailers and probably will to Kingdom Come as he's about to joke. But my God, you want to tell me I'm not Screen Junkies? Give me a break, Dan. Joe Starr is Screen Junkies? Roth Cornet is Screen Junkies? Oh, is Hal Rudnick Screen Junkies? Because you guys threw him off a cliff pretty damn fast.
I would say Hal is
no, but Jody, where the hell is he? Dude hasn't been on the channel in months.
That's what I'm saying. It's Andy. Then I would say Dan, Hal. That's really it. Who could do anything, but clearly they couldn't, bro. So yeah, that's what I would say. When I think of Screen Junkies, I didn't really watch Screen Junkies like that because y'all content was so PC. I hated it, but I knew even I had the sense of what the hierarchy was over there. Oh, that's clearly Andy's channel. He the man over there. And then it's I thought it was like Hal then Dan. I thought it was like Andy, Hal, Dan. We clearly, and the rest didn't really matter.
Well, anyway,
but now that that's over, we see that it was just you. After now,
to have that audacity and to have that, he's trying to take me out right there. He is not Screen Junkies. That was a personal line from him, clearly. And we'll get to Dan in part two.
And
it's crazy.
I hope that we can help rebuild a lot of the trust.
Can I speed this up a little bit? It's so painful.
That was lost because so many of the people that came forward were from our fan community, and we recognize that for someone so close to all of us to betray that trust, that's really heartbreaking, and we hope that we can help rebuild that. So we're going to talk about some things, and we always, of course, want to hear what the community has to say. And
so,
this is step
look,
one
the breaking of the trust is one thing I've owned, and I get it. It's a complicated one, and I know we disagree on this, Jody. The whole idea of flirting with fans, the abuse of power, we disagree on it. But for me personally, like I see it now, I don't want to be flirting with just every girl who's into me. I think a person could, but they got to be careful. There's an abuse of power there, no matter what. If someone looks up to you, more on that in a bit. But for me, look, just personally, I know others will disagree and say, Andy, don't you have nothing to apologize for? No, I made some fans uncomfortable. They looked up to me. They just wanted to be my fan, and I shouldn't have just looked at them like a piece of meat and thought, ooh, they're interested. I just had my mind wasn't checked. I didn't know, and now it has been because people actually helped me. People actually educated me. People actually talked to me instead of just trying to cancel me and throw me off a ledge. I talked to women and people and professionals to learn why that's not good. And for me, I learned, you know what? I don't want to be that guy. I got no beef with somebody who wants to flirt, but I was married, and it was shady. It was shady of me, and I'm not comfortable with it. So anyway, I understand I broke a trust to a lot of fans, and so it's important. I at least for me, even though I know Jody, you'll be on me fast.
Toward hopefully building something.
Sorry, Steph.
Andy,
yeah.
Sorry, but also, Andy, I would have to echo it. There was a power imbalance between
Correct.
yourself and these women. You were in a position of power. They looked up to you. With that being said, when things happened, it wasn't on an equal basis in terms of your positions, your statuses, because you were there and they were there, kind of thing. So that's why there's the power imbalance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, agreed. And you're right. And more on that in a bit. So here we go.
Bigger and better going forward. So
bigger and better, guys.
We are aware that in addition to the horrific betrayal of trust.
What's crazy if you watch is like how Roth has no. I did have loved Roth. Like she was good at what she did. I brought her because I was proud of the work she did at IGN, everywhere else. Like she was a rock star, I thought, and I wanted a female there, and she was a badass. She could work with us. I could treat her as an equal, and I felt like she respected that. I didn't feel like I had to sugarcoat it, which sometimes some women sort of expect. Hey, don't speak to me harshly, but like no, I put her in with everybody else, right? And gave her the same deadlines and made sure she was treated equally. And I loved the fact that she could do it and mustered it all. But what's so crazy is like she's like looking for approval. Watch her. The whole time she's sort of talking.
Love and care about. There were serious questions about how Defy HR in particular, handled the women who came forward and their cases. And we took that very, very seriously. And we gathered together and took our times. This is why we have not been here. This is why we have not been making videos. We met with each other. We met with Defy. We outlined steps forward to ensure that this would not happen again. And that is our number one goal.
What?
These steps include a third party coming in to assess what happened.
I want to know what won't happen
provide
again,
an outline of
because
procedures forward
trust me, guys, they
that
didn't
make it
change
safe
anything.
for women to come forward, that looks at what could have been done better, what can we do in the future, and that provides, hopefully, a pathway to rebuilding trust in this community.
yeah,
Again, she's like, I wish she would have been a little bit before. It felt like she was reading what the company told her to say. And I get that vibe, and it's sad because that company, I can't talk too much about the company, to be perfectly honest. But I'm going to say, look, I feel pretty confident in assuming there was a lot more going on at that company than people knew, or that certain people wanted people to know. And from what I've gathered, I don't think it was changed. And that company's no more, so it is what it is. But that should tell you something as well. But let's hear from Spencer.
so basically, those minimum sets of expectations we laid out have been met. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today. And you can read about them. I assume there's like a link below or something to the effect of the public statement that talks about this third party coming in. Talks about we're all getting sexual harassment training, not just managers at the company.
That's good. They should have done
around
that.
A code of conduct for how we can interact with fans.
That's good.
In essence, should make it easier to make sure
That's good.
that people
Good for
who violate
them.
that fan
I
personality.
would have loved some sort of code of conduct to understand what you should do with fans or how you should interact. There was none. In fact, at a previous employer, not the one here, guys, but at a previous employer, it was sort of like understood that, when you went on like meetings with clients, dude, if they wanted to flirt, dance with you, do anything with you, whatever it took to get the sale, guys, that was the environment I was used to. That was what I was conditioned for so long. There was a place I worked, again, not my employer. God, I'm not allowed to talk about them. I remember there was a place I worked, just talking about culture in general. There was a place I worked where the head of the company heard someone was having sex in one of the offices that I had the key to. Literally walked me, said, hey, Andy, you have the key, right? Go unlock the door. Gathered a crowd. Had me walk over to see two employees having sex. This was the head of the company, mind you. And
That's fire.
look,
That sounds hot, bro.
that's the environment I've been in my career. Again, not naming names, not naming companies, but people who work there know what story I'm referring to. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses, but come on, I'm the scapegoat in all this in the cultures across the around. It's frustrating. I wish I could say more on that. That sadly I can't get too much more in details. But anyway,
personality relationship can be suspended or fired much quicker than they were. And yeah, we hope to maybe now make some more positive changes just on the channel itself to just make this a better place. certain things will be the same. I think Honest Trailers is going to continue until the entropic heat death of the universe. It will always be around as long as Screen Junkies is around. The rest of the stuff, we're figuring it out. We welcome your input. We're all having these discussions of what to do with everything else.
I just want to say,
we want to come
that's
back
what I
better.
was going to
We're
say.
going to come back right away. In fact, the first couple episodes of SJU, which if you guys don't watch on Screen Junkies News, will be different in tone, and we're going to have some conversations in public that we've been having in private before we get back to our regular
Those were
programming.
entertaining.
But yeah, we hope that this can, after all the hurt and all the pain that he's caused so many people, that we can maybe
all the pain I've hurt so many people. All the pain I've hurt so many people, and it just also it hurts so bad to know that like, literally the thing I made, with the help of them and some others, but the thing I birthed, literally is funding that whole operation to this day. Honest Trailers is a cash cow for the rest of time. 1 million views a week will fund a lot, guys, and then the sponsorships you get. On top of that, it is just so depressing. So to think that cash cow's there, and I got a hefty salary, I'm sure there was nothing behind the scenes, Jody, that sort of made them want to push me out, right? I mean, that would be ludicrous for me to assume, right?
That would be terrible for you to assume. Just like, I want to make something known here that Hal is the only one at this table that has a face of sadness. Everybody else here looks like they're almost eager to throw you under the bus, bro. Like, these were not your friends. But there's one thing I could say is the body language of everybody else here is like, let's get this guy out of here so we can move forward. But Hal you could tell that he's bothered. And I just wanted to note that. At least someone has a soul at that table.
Yeah, and speaking of souls, look, just to echo, don't go harass John Roca and Dan right now. Please don't. Leave it alone. I'm not sending you to do that. Don't.
Bro, they got wrecked, bro. That's why I had to leave.
Don't. Someone was like, Andy, why are you endorsing? I didn't mean to endorse that. And if I did, I apologize. Don't look. I can't control people.
Fire, bro.
But I'm not endorsing
the truth.
that.
People are hearing the truth, and they're making a conscious decision on their own.
Yes.
Nobody sent them over there. Nobody said anything. I went over there and put a thumbs down for show because he lied on me personally. Look, John Roca.
People have opinions on this. People have opinions on this, and they've chosen not to talk about it. But I'm sorry, I need to talk about it. And today's my day, and this is about me, not about them. So please don't. Just leave it alone. But anyway, I want to make it clear. Please don't harass them.
Right,
don't harass any. Don't harass. I want to be clear. Don't harass anybody I bring up tonight. This is not what the goal is here. This is for me to get it off my chest, just so you guys have the information.
Just
okay.
Know the truth.
I want you to know the truth. That's what this is about. All right. So
move forward and make Screen Junkies a better place than it was.
Yeah.
In response to what you said there about how, all I'm going to say in that is maybe someone's worried that they may be found out for their past conduct, and is sitting there looking all sheepish thinking, could I be next?
Maybe.
Dude, what could I be next was a big question. That'll happen in part 4. So, but yes, I think everybody was wondering, am I going to be next? But here's Hal's part, just to get through this first part.
He, sort of on that note, he brought something that we all love at this table that you guys love, and
Joe,
you've made that very clear. And we hope we can sort of
you did not earn that seat at the table
into something better. So yeah, echoing that.
Nerd.
We'll be approaching some semblance of normalcy. Slow. It's going to be a slow transition.
I don't really. Sorry, I'm muting Joe because I don't care about Joe.
We can fast forward.
Joe went through. I'm going to talk while Joe's talking. Joe went on Reddit to say things as if he knew what was going on behind the scenes in a corporate way. I'll never forgive him for that. I wouldn't have had a beef if he shut up, and I wouldn't have bashed him, but he has made a point to bash me and make up lies that I would never brought on women to the show, and I was making sure no one. Complete lies. I don't know who's telling him that, but not true. Come to me and ask the questions. He won't. But that nothing he said on Reddit was accurate.
Everything that you guys said. It's
I agree, though. He does seem genuinely
hoping to
bothered.
Move forward now, and stronger and more aware. And
to remind you, Jody, Hal's the only person who reached out to my family to see if they were doing okay. So to Hal's credit, credit where it's due. Good for you, Hal.
And just in a safe environment. And I've been here for 5 years, over 5 years here at Screen Junkies. I'm lucky to be a part of this community, and thank you to everyone who's been reaching out. And there have been a lot of kind words, and we've really heard from the fans. So I just want to do right by the fans, because you guys have just helped us create something that's really cool and fun, and I look forward to
God, that's
continuing
funny.
And getting back to the good times. But I appreciate everyone knowing and understanding that we needed to take this time.
Look, I got no beef with Hal, really. I feel like Hal he's a follower. He was just following what the lead was. But I will release some tea on Hal. Hal came to me personally at one point. He was flirting with one of the same fans that accused me. So look, I was married. That makes it different. But to me, the hypocrisy of him to know that, I'm not going to say the fan and get into the specifics. And I'm not even condemning him for doing it, to be perfectly honest. But just the hypocrisy of like, dude, you were doing it, Hal. Like, come on, man. Like, at least call me if you're doing it. Like, I don't think you were doing anything appropriate. I'm not accusing you of doing anything wrong. But my God, dude, like, reach out. Clearly, you've been misunderstood in your life. Clearly, you could have been in the same situation because someone could have said something wrong about what you said. But come on, man, have some decency and call me up too. And on top of that, Hal wasn't a movie fan. We made him a movie fan. He's a sports guy. He didn't know anything about movies. He loved some certain movies, but he was a good host. He was funny. That's why we brought him on. But we had to coach him to be Mr. Screen Junkie. That's the truth about Hal. So Hal, I had your back. I helped you set up. I always kept you around. They have not. It's sad I lost your friendship in this. I hope someday you're man enough to just reach out and be like, look, which he tried. He did briefly, but then he never had the balls to follow up and do it fully, you know? No one has. And I'm hoping it's someday maybe someone will surprise me, but not expecting it. Moving on. You were going to say something, Jody, before we wrap up?
Yeah, man, you're speaking on all of this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. He's speaking on the stuff of the people that he knows. So he has the insider track. I'm giving my outside opinion on this because I don't know these fools, but I know people. I'm looking at that table, bro, and I'm thinking about one of those hot cosplay anime chicks. If any one of them dressed like Harley Quinn and bent over, I see all of them sliding in there, bro. They all look like they'll fall victim to the same type of especially when I look at Hal, bro. A dime piece busted open for him with a Harley Quinn outfit on, bro. He's like, what did he do? He's sliding that thing too, bro. These fools are acting holier than thou, man. These fools is dweebs, and they'll do the same freaking thing, bro. That's all I'm saying. From my perspective, I can tell and I see what time it is here. But they're getting Andy because he was actually caught up in the lie.
Well, no, they called me out. Andy was so mean to cosplay girls. He would exploit them. Dude, it got clicks. That's what the work was. I came from break.com. Hot girls dress up for the thumbnail. They know that.
Now, we've been here. We started basically the same day. We've been here over 5 years together working. Yeah. And I think something else that we really
this is important. And then we're going to wrap
we all had some very serious questions on our own about what do we do? What can we do? Do we even want to come back?
It's so bad. Do we even want to come back?
So much of what brought all of us back was the idea of, sexual abuse and harassment is something that is finally, there's a spotlight on it, and it's not going to go away.
So they poster child me. Dan's literally calling me Harvey Weinstein.
It's like somebody came out of a DeLorean and just told him that this was a fact that you abused him.
And then he goes and says, and not even that, but just general abuse and harassment. He's basically saying I'm an abuser and harasser in the office.
They just know it for truth.
He's apparently overnight shocked. Dan suddenly overnight is like, you know what? Andy was a harasser. Yeah, I guess overnight. I'm so shocked and disgusted. I don't know. I guess, yeah, you must have been.
Well, all right,
in this industry and just in general. And I think what we want to do is not just rebuild the channel, but help make this a community that is more accepting, that is a place where people feel comfortable coming in.
So if you're wondering what happened in movie fights, this is your answer.
We've heard from so many fans in the last few years that have said, hey, I used to comment on your videos, or I used to be involved and engaged, and I just can't do it anymore because I feel like I'll be attacked. I feel like,
oh my God, it's the internet, bro.
I can't be a part of.
They decided to make movie space a safe space. They did what Christian did with Schmodown.
Well, is
oh my God,
we want this to be a place for movie fans to come and talk about movies and learn and grow and have their love of film appreciated and nurtured and not yelled at.
That's not what Screen Junkies was.
We are going to be setting some internal standards, just community
standards, guys.
Kind of help us foster the community that we want to build. And we are taking the burden on ourselves to look at some of what we've done and
we've done, all those toxic shows we've done.
There were some things we did that invited divisiveness.
Things we did that invited divisiveness. Movie fights.
And that
bro, we have been outside of they act like they haven't been outside of movie theaters with the nerds and the movie lovers and then didn't have arguments on the steps. That's what you do. You people rage at. You've never been to a Star Wars movie where the fandom is split? You suck. You don't know Star Wars. That's in real life. Why would you expect someone to come to the internet and have morals all of a sudden?
Dude, Jody, Screen Junkies was built, and that was my whole plan. Like, I wanted to be the ESPN of movies. It's sports. People are passionate about it.
Right.
I want them to be there and yell at each other about
That's
whatever it
crazy.
is. And that was the point
The
of
fandom is about passion.
Yeah.
It's about letting it out there.
and
know what I mean?
that's why we succeeded. It wasn't about kumbaya, oh, safe space. Like, no, my problem with Dan, and I said this to his face multiple times, he was so worried about and this is for everybody out there making a channel, and I've been there myself, to be honest, but he was so worried about those 2 comments. He would see 2 comments, and suddenly it would get stuck in his head that I need to change the whole thing. And I kept telling him, like, dude, that is a small base. Look at Honest Trailers. Millions of people tuning in. That is our demo. We are better than everybody else. We're better than Schmoes and we are destroying everybody because we built that. That is our audience. That's the one we're really working to keep it going and building a brand and doing all the things we did to take it to next level. Movie fights, all that stuff, it's all connected to that. We got to please that audience, not the 2 people who get upset. Everyone's going to get upset at us. You can't please everybody. But he was so stuck on the little negative 2 comments he'd get that he lost focus of it. And this to me, honestly, I wasn't there, so I can only speculate. This decision was the demise of Screen Junkies.
Argument, and that's not what we want.
I'm never supported or wanted it to be toxic. There's toxic comments on every channel. That is part of it. But my God.
So we're even looking at ourselves and saying, like, what can we do better to make this not a place for, disagreement, but a place for sincere discussion and conversation.
No disagreements on Screen Junkies anymore.
And I think that's certainly what brought me back, was the chance to take this,
to not have any fight anymore,
and
really do it
learn
right.
from it.
The man who kept constantly going on Monday Night Raw to get yelled at by Nick
and
Mundy.
we have a chance to rebuild this community.
And he's yelling at me
in a way that we think is going to be.
Yeah. Hey, Screen
positive.
Junkies, you want to do right? Give me back movie fights. Are you using it? Hashtag give Andy movie fights. Enough is enough. How about give Andy Screen Junkies? My God, what a waste. Throw Honest Trailers on fandom, but Jesus, you have destroyed this brand. Go ahead, Jody.
It's done. Yeah, but I'm looking at this table, bro, and judging by what everybody has been saying in the manner they came out and took you out, the way they threw you to the wolves without even making a phone call, going off of a lie that I believe a lot of them knew were lies, but they still did it. The reason why they did it, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the ultimate motivation for me, and this is what I have always said since 3 years ago when this video first came out, when I was with the Justice League talking to him. I said these were never his real friends. These were people sucking the power teat on the totem pole. They were waiting for the king to have a chink in his armor to get rid of this fool, bro. That's what it is. They saw an opportunity. They were all falling in line under Andy when he was over there on Screen Junkies, and they were just waiting like bed buds when you go to sleep at night, just for something to come down and bring Andy and make him weak so they could do a coup and get this fool out of here. I'm looking at a table full of people who just wanted to replace you, bro, because they were jealous, envious, and bitter. This is whack.
Well, look, there's lots more to say about this, and in fact, I'm going to get more into my feelings on Dan, the hypocrisy of Dan Murrell, for part 2. But for those of you who are watching this, watching it live, don't go anywhere. We got more to talk about. I got more to unpack. We're going to take a second here to answer some questions or talk.
Continues.
Part 2 is about to happen, so don't go anywhere. For those of you watching on the replay, thank you for watching. Please share this. Please check out part 2 when it's up. It'll be up either later tonight or first thing tomorrow at some point. In the meanwhile, this will be clipped later. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you can. If you made it this far, give me a shot. Please give me a shot. I'm excited to give you guys more content. I'm getting this out of my system so we can move forward. Thank you to all of you who've supported and came here. I'll be back with part 2 and more very soon.